Pizza is a passion point for many people, not just in the USA, but also in markets such as Canada, the UAE, and beyond. However, pizza is a highly personalized product. Some people love pepperoni, while others avoid it. Some people prefer thick crust, others thin. Understanding a customer's preferences, what they want, when they want it, and why is critical. A well-designed customer loyalty program can incentivize the right behaviors, foster engagement, and also build emotional loyalty. Today, we'll explore a pizza brand that excels in this area. Interestingly, they don't even cook the pizza themselves. They let the customer do it. Why? Because they understand that when customers cook their own pizza, it creates a deeper sense of convenience, commitment, and ownership. In this episode, we're going to be hearing from Jason Focht. He is the Vice President of Digital Marketing at Papa Murphy's. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the conversation. First off, can you give us a brief introduction to Papa Murphy's? When was the company started and why?
Yeah, absolutely. So Papa Murphy's is the largest take and bake pizza brand in the United States with locations across the country, as well as stores in Canada and the UAE. What makes us different is that we have really defined what fresh pizza means. With Papa Murphy's, you bring the quality and the freshness of your favorite neighborhood pizzeria right into your home. Every pizza is made right in our stores. The dough is made fresh daily. Our vegetables are sliced in-house, and the cheese is freshly shredded right in the store. So then instead of waiting for delivery, you take it home, you bake it in your own oven. So it's piping hot, perfectly fresh pizza and ready exactly when you want it. And it's a model that guests really interact with in a very different way from other pizza concepts and is very different, a very unique and different mealtime experience, and really a different moment that families really gravitate toward. We also have cheesy bread, a variety of other side items and things like that. Take and bake cookies, which are a big item that have become a fan favorite. And it's all really part of creating a complete customizable meal that guests can take and enjoy together. And at its core, Papa Murphy's is really about freshness, family, and participation, giving guests fun and satisfaction of baking something they love right in their own oven. We were founded, actually, lots of people don't know this. Papa Aldo's was founded in 1981, and Murphy's Pizza followed in 1984. So in 1985, those two concepts merged. They came together to form Papa Murphy's. And really, from the very beginning, it was intentionally different. Most of the pizza industry focused on delivery and in dine-in. When we focused on freshness, quality, and the experience of baking pizza in your own home.
Okay. Take and bake, yeah, very interesting. I do a lot around behavioral science. I'm a voracious reader, and I think probably one of the reasons it was kind of done this way is that when a woman or a man or whoever had a household bakes a pizza, they get more satisfaction. Pillsbury and others, when they made like the brownies and cakes, they were all in. You had to put, but you had to put an egg in it, you had to put some water in it, you had to put some oil in it where they actually were engaged with it, that they felt like they made it, right? So it's the same thing. It's behavioral science piece. Like you're invested in that. By cooking it yourself, it becomes your pizza, right? Versus, the other person's pizza. Is that kind of why you do that?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And then it's about how the home feels as well. It's very different than getting a delivery, someone show up at your door. That's great. And obviously there's lots of room for that in the market, but where we differentiate is that feeling in the home, as you said, that interaction. We also
Yep.
have mini Murph pizzas, which are for kids, where it comes unprepared essentially. So the kids get to interact with it. They get to they put all the toppings on the pizza, and again, just provide that very different interaction with the product and feeling of ownership, as you said.
Yeah, I think the ownership piece is very unique, right? So obviously, kind of what Pillsbury and others did when they changed kind of the recipes in the 40s and the 50s to have more engagement. And then there's also been studies of people who do art, right? So you have people that kind of create their own artwork, and it could be, not very good, but if they've done it, and someone else create this similar piece of art, right? And it could be by kit, but once they've done it, they're like, oh, I'm not selling it for $10. It's mine. I made it, right? Because it has more intrinsic value for them, which is interesting.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So are all products take and bake?
Most products are. We do have some that are ready to eat. In fact, our cookie dough is actually ready to eat if it's safe right out of right out of the container. You don't have to bake it. But yes, most of our products are take and bake.
Okay. How many locations do you have?
We have over 1,000 locations, mostly in the United States.
Okay. And when you look at your role, what are you responsible for in your role? How long have you been at Papa Murphy's, and maybe even what's led to this position?
Yeah, great question. So I'm, as you already mentioned, I'm the vice president of digital marketing for Papa Murphy's. Been in this role now for 3.5 years, and my focus is really on growing digital sales, incremental overall sales and transactions, and building loyalty and connection with guests and with the brand overall at a digital from all of our digital channels, from CRM, digital media to app, online ordering, and loyalty and beyond. And as I said, I've been with the company now since 2022, and I really joined because I saw an opportunity to modernize how we engage with guests while honoring the heart of what makes Papa Murphy's really special. So over time, my role has focused on building and leading a team of marketers, driving digital transformation, shaping how the brand's long-term growth strategy really looks. And as a lifelong digital marketer, I've always been driven by solving business problems through technology. And since my time managing my first digital journeys back in 2005, dating myself a little bit, but creating genuine connections between businesses and customers to solve problems in a really meaningful way and bringing joy to the customer and guest experience while also sustaining and growing the business is really the ultimate goal. And being a part of these innovations within established brands and bringing a new way of connecting with the brand and guest experience is really exciting for me and has been really fulfilling as part of Papa Murphy's.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We have done a number of kind of QSR, fast casual restaurant interviews over the last couple of months, and one of the topics that's came out is like, where does hospitality begin, right? Is it when they get out of the store, and get in the parking lot? In the parking lot's already, does that impact the digital experience or the whole experience? You talked about digital, but where does that customer experience and hospitality start? Which is quite interesting. Obviously, you have the piece on the back end, that whole value put into the baking. But when you look at hospitality and the digital experience, how do you balance those? And where does hospitality begin for your brand?
I think it really begins with any touch point, any interaction that we have with our guests, whether that's I see it as even if it's a an ad or like even a commercial that somebody sees as they're watching a football game. We'll get to it in a second, but we just launched our revamped loyalty program, and I'm sitting out with friends and we're watching football and just see our product and our brand shown right in an environment that's obviously not where somebody is going to be purchasing, but it starts with every interaction that we have, whether it's a more passive interaction or one-way communication, such as through ads or even our digital ad experience, our digital media experience, all the way through. And I think we have to really embody that sense of connectedness, the brand spirit, and really what we stand for all the way through. And then coming when pretty much half of our sales are right close to half of our sales are online and through the digital experience and through our web and app. So we have to be doing and be constantly evolving how the guest perceives our brand, how we interact with them and ensure that they're getting not only understanding the brand, but also as best we can a personalized experience with every interaction. So we're talking to our guests at a one-to-one level.
That's awesome. You talked about a little bit, what else keeps you up at night? You talked about new technology. You talked about maximizing the digital experience as being a concern. Are there kind of other things that you're looking for or looking at that may cause a bit of consternation as you kind of grow and enhance the brand?
Yeah, I think, really it comes down to how we continuously make digital engagement simpler and more rewarding for both the guests and, in our case, for the franchise owners and our stores. So, anyone can create a super complex system of and MarTech stack and data stack, but the key is really how you innovate to bring a sense of almost lightness to the digital experience and the underlying technology so it's transparent to the guest. But really, every new idea from an app update to a campaign has to strengthen the relationship and make our business more sustainable. So the challenge really becomes keeping up with the fast-paced environment and guest expectations while ensuring every initiative delivers value at the store level, and then all while driving the strongest ROI possible for the business, both the franchisor and franchisee. So a lot of what I think about is how to build the long-term roadmap, and especially how quickly AI tools and other, generative AI and things like that are coming into play to really have overall integrated workflows that work for the business and drive engagement.
And it's interesting you mentioned kind of the franchisee relationship as well. I mean, that can be kind of fraught with challenges as well. Rolling out a new loyalty program, they have to buy in through the kind of their marketing agreement you have or the franchisee agreement. But the value equation, because your goal at the end of the day is to make sure that they focus on what they do well, right? And that's making pizza or making pizza that is not yet cooked, right? So you want to help them in the marketing, you want to help them in the operations. You want to make things as seamless as possible for them to make sure they do their job well, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. Our job is to create an overall system of business tools and marketing technology and operations that make their job as easy as possible so they can focus on, as you said, what matters most, providing a great experience in the store, but then also allowing them opportunities to focus beyond their four walls and be able to go make connections at the community, which is really a cornerstone of how Papa Murphy's has always been and has always been shaped, is those really, really strong community connections, which is I think quite unique and different than what a lot of other franchisees. We operate a lot more like a mom and pop shop
Yeah.
in the community and have those genuine connections. So yeah, as you said, our job is to make their job as easy as possible to go out and do that.
And it's interesting to talk about mom and pop shop and technology. That I think there's a promise of digital technology, a promise of the MarTech stacks of creating that one-to-one relationship. That whole Cheers relationship where everyone comes in, they know your name, right? And I think that's to look at it from that, guys, is very impactful because many brands they have all these technology stacks and they don't work together, and you obviously have to from a clienteling perspective that person at that front end touch point if you just make it easy for them to act like a small mom and pop, that's where you have that great emotional connection, that loyalty. People know their names, they welcome you back, right? If you go there enough, and I think that's a great way to look at technology. I think to as an enabler.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely agree with that. And going back to how, we launched the loyalty program, we wanted to really get out the gates really strong, make it a strong, the best possible and easiest to understand experience, both for the guest and the team member at the cash register. And that's kind of hard to do sometimes with loyalty programs to make it just like one or two lines, understand the value immediately. But that's what our objective was, and I think we did it fairly well as we rolled out the new program and got really awesome buy-in at the store level and generate a lot of excitement both for store crews and for our guests.
Okay. When you look at the QSR industry, the quick service restaurant, the restaurant industry in general, definitely evolving. Been a lot of articles in the Wall Street Journal and The Economist recently just about changing demographics and kind of maybe some of the economic headwinds. How is the industry evolving and what are you seeing?
Yeah, as you said, QSR industry has changed really dramatically over the last decade. Rising food costs, labor costs have fueled what many have called, value wars, so to speak, in restaurant and QSR as brands fight to maintain traffic and protect margins. And at the same time, digital transformation has reshaped how guests engage. Ordering speed, loyalty, personalization are really, the primary drivers where people choose to spend and spend their hard-earned dollars. So competition has never been stronger, and the brands that succeed are the ones that balance what made them great from a business model standpoint, the
Right.
product, their purpose, and with the clear value proposition. And combine that with smart, data-driven innovation that's always evolving to meet the needs of the guests and the franchise community in a more complex environment. So guests expect speed, value, and personalization, and it's really a complex landscape, but it's full of opportunities for brands that are willing to evolve and meet the guests where they're at.
Okay. When you look at younger generations, right? Kind of those who are up and coming, there's this discussion around kind of what next generation customer loyalty means, both from a programmatic perspective, holistically, but also the younger generation, right? We just had a peer group call where we had 4 or 5 brands in the call, and they were talking about the challenges they have. Do they find value in the program? What channels do they want? And you talked about being in the right channel. When you look at engaging younger audiences, what are you seeing? What challenges are you facing?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because our younger audiences engage quite differently, and they live online. They value authenticity. They move fast. They really value more transparency and control, and more value from their hard-earned dollar. Our brand is uniquely positioned in a lot of ways because for a lot of our younger generation, they grew up with Papa Murphy's, and
Yeah.
they, especially on the West Coast where we have, a lot of stores, they grew up with it. And but a lot of them, as they grew older, maybe have forgotten about it. Maybe they, live in more urban environments where Papa Murphy's locations are less prominent. So, our challenge is making sure Papa Murphy's stays relevant while remaining true to our roots. And we've really leaned into that social storytelling, digital first offers and partnerships, partnering with influencers and micro influencers to really show up in digital spaces authentically, not forcing it, and being really a part of the world naturally while clearly communicating our brand's value and proposition. So that's kind of the trick, right? Or the key is
Yeah.
that we you can't show up in a way where you're talking at the audiences, especially the younger generation. We really have to be part of that conversation and show up in an authentic way, just as they would be having an interaction with one of their peers or one of their friends.
You mentioned partnerships. That's another area that's very impactful, important right now from brands. We do a state of customer loyalty research paper every year, and it's usually in the top 4, top 5. Obviously, challenges. More brands want kind of unique partnerships, right? They want bespoke partnerships versus affiliate or mass type partnerships. How are you approaching partnerships? How do they work for you? And do you have any current partnerships that are kind of standing out?
Yeah, we have partnerships with several influencers, as I said, influencers and micro influencers who our goal is to create really naturally engaging content and have them, the positioning is we look to partner with those that are naturally advocates for the brand. They love the brand. It's not something that's forced. We do have lots of different partnerships with larger influencers as well, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But we focus on keeping the engagement simple, interactive, and also in line with the storytelling of what our brand is, where it is a take and bake experience, right? So there's a little bit more complexity to it. But we want to, really help to tell the story of the brand through our influencers. We're currently partnered with Snackolator, who helped to launch was part of our loyalty launch, and really embedding in a again as best to our ability the natural experience of what it's like to order and what it's like to be a guest at Papa Murphy's, while also telling the story of what the new loyalty program is. So it's a lot to accomplish, but we like to have both the objectives of engagement and natural connection, as well as telling the brand story and telling our guests about the overall initiative, in this case, loyalty that we are looking to communicate and communicate the value of.
Okay. You started to talk about this a little bit, but I would love to learn more about the MySlice Rewards program. You talked about some updates you made to the program. What were those and how did you decide to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. We recently revamped our MySlice loyalty rewards program. Our previous loyalty program helped us understand how guests engage with Pop Murphy's, but it wasn't really driving the sustained activity we wanted. Infrequent guests weren't participating, and it was a surprise and delight model. So while it was fun for some people, unpredictable, but it was unpredictable, difficult to scale, and really inconsistent in how it rewarded behavior. So we needed a new program that works the way our guests think and order. Needed to be simple, transparent, and rewarding. So the new MySlice program, MySlice Rewards program, does exactly that. It's built around a single clear rule. Every pizza purchased earns points. It's easy to understand, easy to message, and it's easy to execute across all of our channels, including web, app, and in-store. And the structure really gives guests a straightforward path to free food faster. And for our franchisees, it's a system that helps sell more stuff with a built-in engine for repeat visits and predictable results. So what we really looked for when we moved from our surprise and delight to the points-based model was move from that unclear and inconsistent to simple and scalable. And it's a structure that guests trust and operators can really execute easily. So when we did the complete MySlice Rewards program revamp, we built it around a simple idea. As I mentioned, every pizza purchase counts. And for guests, they see the benefits immediately. Every pizza earns 10 points. Mini Murphs are not included with that. And rewards start at just 25 points. So that means most guests are only 1 to 2 visits away from earning something free. And the reward tiers are really simple as well. 25 points are lower end, free 2 liter or $3 off. 50 points are our sides. 75 points is any large, regularly priced pizza. So again, this creates that sense of progress built in, 10 points for every pizza. And most of our guests are really only 1 to 2 visits away from their next reward. And really what we kind of wanted to come up with this when we were brainstorming. There's all kinds of ways of developing a new loyalty program, but guests shouldn't have to do math to understand their reward journey. And with Papa Murphy's, it's 10 points per pizza, and the first reward is at 25 points, and it's really that simple.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's a very significant point right now is brands, especially in this whole push to value right now, where brands are looking for value. They're asking some of the customers are asking some of the brands they engage with for that value. That could be convenience, that could be being able to use their points for discounts or offers more quickly, right, than they have in the past. And brands that resonate, that kind of respond, will be more resonant with the customers, right? Around this whole idea of value. So driving that increased redemption opportunity has such advantageous aspects for the program, and it's great to hear that you're focusing on that.
Absolutely.
Has there been any feedback from guests on the program, new program?
Yeah, our guests are early response has been really positive. Guests love how straightforward it is, how clear rewards, how clear it is to track their rewards for every visit. And franchisees have told us it's easier to explain and they're seeing stronger engagement. We've had lots of our stores participate in loyalty participation competitions within their stores. So increasing guest participation in the loyalty program has been obviously one of our top priorities, as it is for all brands and all brands that have a loyalty program. So they're really leaning in, and so far participation is has up nearly 100% in store, or double what it was previously in store, and around 20% online, which is already very strong, which was already really strong pre-launch. So that really tells us the model is resonating, and it's only going to grow from here.
Okay. You talked a little bit about piece of personalization, being very important, understanding why they're buying, what they like, and how that can be kind of actuated in the rewards program. So, how does that extend the personalization aspects into your MySlice program?
Yeah, great question. Personalization is really part of our DNA. It's something that we've really prided ourselves on and provided throughout the years, really maximum customization ability that goes really above and beyond what a lot of other pizza concepts have focused on.
Yeah.
Obviously, there can be the opposite side where it introduces a lot of complexity, but guests build every pizza exactly how they want it, and our reward system really had to reflect that. So guests can choose how they redeem, whether it's a drink, a side, a discount, or a free pizza. And we're expanding personalization even further across web and app platforms with recommendations and offers tailored to the guest habits. And unlike many of our competitors, we don't require an app usage at this time. So guests can earn and redeem however they prefer in store, online, our web experience, as well as the app. And that really brings flexibility and a big part of why we've had some early success.
Okay, great. We talked a little about brands being customers being more price sensitive today. How does Pop Murphy's plan to deliver or keep delivering that strong value perception, perceived value, and actual value to the customers?
Yep, another great question. So our value proposition is built right into our model. Guests get restaurant quality pizza for a great price, and they bake it fresh at home. So the pizza comes out hot, bubbly, and perfectly crisp every time. And value, as you were kind of alluding to, isn't just about price. It's about what guests get for that price. And with Pop Murphy's, you never settle for lukewarm, dried out delivery pizza that's maybe been sitting in a box for a while. You bake it on your schedule. It fills your kitchen with that fresh pizzeria aroma, and it comes out of your own oven exactly how you like it. And that's freshness and quality that guests can see, smell, and taste. And when it comes to MySlice Rewards, on top of that convenience, on top of that convenient experience, the value, what we attempted to do is create that value and that value proposition even stronger. So when guests are earning free food faster than ever and get rewarded for what they already love, most are only a visit or two from their next reward, and many reach a free large pizza within 5 to 7 visits. So that's immediate, tangible value. And when we match that with our quality that's hot, fresh, and baked right when you want it, it's a great combination.
That's awesome. What's the next big thing for, customer experience, customer loyalty that Papa Murphy's is looking into, into the future? What are you looking for?
Yep, great. Another good question. So we're really leaning into personalization, as I mentioned earlier, data insights, and predictive engagement. So the future of loyalty isn't just earning points, it's about really being recognized and understood. And we want every guest to feel like their experience is designed for them personally. And when we talk about new technology, in a lot of ways, the underlying technologies of orchestration and personalization have become fairly mature. And while restaurants have historically been a little bit behind where other consumer industries are, it has caught up in many ways. So we're exploring AI tools with smarter recommendation, frictionless loyalty lookups in store, deeper integrations with app and the POS system. So anything that helps the guest feel seen and simplifies their experience is where we want to be. And we're leveraging technology to simplify every step of the marketing process so that our talented teams from the brand to digital to analytics can understand our guests, plan campaigns, our marketing campaigns, and execute at the highest level possible and with a speed to market that we haven't been able to achieve before. So really, that's how what we're looking to do with the new emerging technology. And of course, then we can get into further down the road, agentic models and AI, and that's obviously a whole other conversation. But it is something that is on our roadmap and we're looking at for the future.
Excellent. When you look at the program, what are a couple of things that you're most proud about from your customer loyalty from the MySlice program?
Yeah, I'm really proud that we took something that's somewhat complex, how we reward guests. There's lots of ways to build a loyalty program. We took something complex and made it really simple, and a program that both guests and franchisees can understand instantly. And it's built to drive participation, reward behavior that matters, and grow long-term loyalty. And it's proof that I think a clarity and consistency can transform engagement, and that's our goal, has been our goal from the launch, and will be our goal going forward. And I'm really proud of what the team has built, from ideation to creation to the technology, and all of our vendor partners who help bring it to life. It takes an enormous amount of effort to create, test, launch, and have a program go out the door that millions of people interact with every day. So while nothing in technology or business is ever truly perfect, I'm proud of how our teams came together, and really to deliver something that's impactful and to do it in a way that I think really feels seamless for the guests and for the franchise community.
Okay. And last question, a little bit self-serving. What can Loyalty 360 do to help you and your team with your customer loyalty efforts?
Yeah, Loyalty 360, I think, provides us really strong platform for sharing best practices, connecting leaders across industries. And the more we can collaborate, exchange insights, and learn from each other, the more the entire loyalty space evolves. And that's the kind of collaboration that really helps brands grow and continue to innovate.
Okay, perfect. And I think now we have our wonderful quick fire round of questions. I like to keep them to one word or short phrases. When you look at your role at Papa Murphy, what excites you about your role?
Digital innovation.
There you go. Is there a profession other than the one you currently have that you'd like to try?
Psychology, understanding how humans think, feel, and respond to the world.
Okay. Is there a book, person, or a brand that has inspired you in business?
I think Steve Jobs, the relentless pursuit of simple, intuitive, and magical technology experiences.
Okay, perfect. What do you enjoy doing that you often don't get the time to do?
I enjoy playing hockey. I don't get as much time on the ice as I would like, but I still love it.
Okay, excellent. And who inspired you to become the person you are today?
My parents, they taught me balance, grit, compassion, and empathy.
And what do you typically think about at the end of the day?
Prioritization, what matters most tomorrow, and how to make it simpler for our guests.
And how do you want to be remembered by your friends and family?
As someone that leads with purpose, kindness, and made each interaction better.
That's awesome. Well, Jason, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. It was a pleasure getting to know you and also getting to know a little bit more about the MySlice Rewards program. Very interesting program. Being able to bake the product at home, creating that emotional engagement. It was very unique to hear not only about the product, but how you are leveraging technologies to drive further engagement.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. I really enjoyed being on today and getting to meet you as well. And yeah, we'll be in touch.
Absolutely. And I also want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us today. Make sure you join us back every Thursday for another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. And until then, have a wonderful day.